Hello there. Welcome back to the Agostino Zinga Show with your host, Agostino Zinga, and this is episode number 816. It should be 816. It should be Ocho Uno Seis. But if it's not Ocho Uno Seis, I'm going to be upset, I'm going to be angry, and I'm going to cry. But it should be Ocho Uno Seis. What's going on, my people? How you doing? How you feeling? How you doing? Great, amazing. How am I? Not too good, I'm not going to lie. Not the best. I could be better. Today started off a bit rough. Not for all the usual reasons that you might expect based on the name of this podcast and the cover and all the stuff on the timeline. No. Today started horribly because my local gym decided to text me or email me that the gym was closed. Yes, we had a bit of flash rain yesterday. We had a bit of flash showers yesterday. And then, I guess the gym where I go out got flooded and they had to dry it all out. And I remember actually in previous times when I went to the gym after that happened. And I'm not going to lie, it was a bit icky to be inside of a gym that's just been flooded and they're trying to dry it out. But there's also people in there sweating. So it's this weird combination of like wet, sweat. There's like wet from like the rain, it's also moist from like the sweat and everyone's body heat and the smell. It was mad. I'm not gonna lie, it was mad. I remember by the time I realized, I was thinking, hold on, is this people's? I couldn't work out when I was on the floor when I was doing my stretches. I couldn't work out. It's like, is this moisture from the flooding or is this somebody's sweat? I couldn't quite work it out. So I remember just being grossed out, and luckily it happened towards the end of my workout because usually I do like a little warm down before I leave. I just got myself and just left. I was like, you know what? I can do my warm down when I go back home. I'm not gonna fucking do that. I'm not gonna lie down on this mat where I'm not too sure if this is body heat, if this is condensation, if this is dampness from the fucking whatever. I don't know. I couldn't do it. So unfortunately my gym was closed today, so I couldn't go and work out today. But luckily enough, because I couldn't go work out today, I was on my phone at an hour that I usually am not on my phone, which is why I saw a bunch of stuff popping up on some timeline that I'm obviously going to be speaking to you about, because it's been a very tumultuous day. Let's just say that it's been a tumultuous day for a lot of people, myself included. So kick back, relax, get yourself a drink. I've got myself a nice bottle of water here that I'm going to be sipping on through my Stanley, right? My very masculine, my very hetero, right? My very cisgendered Stanley cup I've got here that I'm going to be sucking from, as you can tell there, right? That sucking motion is very straight, very hetero, very cisgendered. Definitely not a bunch of sticks. So grab yourself a drink, do what needs to be done, and let's get into the show. So first things first. Have you guys seen all of the issues, all of the troubles, all of the drama that's been stirred up because it was announced that Kendrick Lamar will be headlining the 2025 Apple Music Super Bowl halftime show? Kendrick Lamar is headlining the Super Bowl halftime show, and it's caused so much passa, so much drama, that I needed to talk about it with you guys today, because I think some of it is a bit overblown, but some of it also is, like, I guess for some people an opportunity for them to air their grievances, because maybe some of them didn't care too much for the people involved. So let's continue with the article so I can show you exactly what I'm talking about. I need to get my screen going because it's getting a bit annoying here. Bear with me a second. Doom. So here's what happened. So according to Hollywood Reporter, Kendrick Lamar is set to headline the 2025 Apple Music Super Bowl halftime show. Rock Nation, NFL, and Apple Music made the announcement on Sunday. The big game will take place on February 9th, 2025 at the Caesars Superdome in New Orleans. It will air on Fox. Lamar previously performed at the Hip Hop Heavy 2022 halftime show starring Dr. Dre, Snoop Dogg, Eminem, Mary J. Blige, and 50 Cent. All the performance, along with executive producer Jay-Z and Jesse Collins, were outstanding live variety special Emmy for the epic performance. Creative direction for Lamar's up-and-coming performance will be provided by PG Lang, and creative direction founded by rap star and his close collaborator Dave Free. Filmmaker and producer who's directed or co-directed the majority of Lamar's music videos. The quote here says, "Rap music is still the most impactful genre to date, and I'll be there to remind the world why. They got the right one, Lamar 37 says in a statement. Jay-Z and his Roc Nation company are returning to producing the halftime show for the 6th year. The rap icon and mogul won his second Emmy for co-directing Rihanna's 2023 halftime show performance alongside Hamish Hamilton, becoming one of the rare black directors to win the outstanding director. Being one of the rare black directors to win in the outstanding directing for a variety special category. This year's halftime show featuring Usher was nominated for 3 Emmys and became the most watched live halftime show of all time. Kendrick Lamar is a true once-in-a-generation artist and performer. His deep love for hip-hop and culture informs his artistic vision. He has unparalleled ability to define and influence culture globally. Kendrick Lamar's work transcends music, and its impact will be felt for years to come. Lamar has been critical and commercial success since he's released his 2011 mixtape Section 80 and major label debut 2012's Good Kid, Mad City. He's won 17 Grammys, and his 2017 debut Damn won the Pulitzer Prize for Music, making him the first non-classical or jazz artist to win the prestigious award. He's also earned a Best Original Song Oscar nomination for the 2018 All Stars and the Black Panther. This year he emerged atop of the Billboard charts with the anthem Not Like Us and Like That, and with Future and Metro. So this silly bit of news caused so much issues. First off, this is amazing. What an amazing honor for Kendrick to be given such a gig, especially considering that he's not like an established kind of like legacy act. Usually these type of events, they usually, you know, it makes more sense to kind of give it to a legacy act because of the nature of the event, because of the people mostly watching it. You'd imagine a lot of them will probably be more familiar with some of the legacy legendary artists who might be, let's say, like 40 plus or 50 plus. Some people have been around for a long time. Cool. So Kendrick gets it now. It's fucking amazing. It's also amazing just in terms of a live show performance. Think about all we've seen from Kendrick when it comes to live shows, when it comes to performances, when it comes to production, when it comes to stage shows, when it comes to just, you know, theatrics and whatever on the screen and dances. Like, the guy goes crazy. When it comes to music videos, he goes crazy. Let's not lie. So we know for sure this halftime show is going to be fucking bananas. Then we also have reference of the pop out recently, right? He did the pop out recently, and that was fucking great. And that was, I think, a last minute job, and he done really well with that one as well. That kind of reminded everybody of Kendrick Lamar's greatness. So I have no shadow of a doubt that Kendrick is gonna fucking kill it. He's gonna fucking tear it apart. Everybody that's doubting him will eat crow. There'll be a lot of people on the timeline copying pleas and doing some fucking, you know, walking back some of their points and saying how they weren't familiar with Kendrick's game. Because a lot of us, maybe if you're not really balls deep in Kendrick's discography, if you just listen to hip hop casually, you're not really that invested in his discography. But you forget how many hits he's got. He's got bops. He's got bops. He's got tunes. So for sure he's gonna go crazy. He might have some crazy features. I'm sure he's gonna put on a great show. Visually, he's gonna put on a fucking great show. Especially with all this noise on social media, you know he's gonna respond well. You know him and Dave Free are gonna be like, all right, cool. Let's go chef up quickly and tell these guys what I want. Plus, if I'm not mistaken, this is happening in February of next year. That's the end of the, you know, the end of the season when Super Bowl usually happens. So they've got a long time, a long bit of lead up time to actually plan this properly and get it done what it needs to be done. And most likely as well, because culture and because social media moves so quickly, everybody's quote unquote up in arms now about Kendrick getting it. But by the time it comes around, everyone will have forgotten about how vocal they were about Kendrick getting it. But he won't. Him and his team won't have forgotten. They're going to remember. They're going to be on business. So they're going to be reminding us of what we said on timeline. They're going to making a point to make sure that we eat our words and we eat a bit of humble pie. So you know for sure everything is kind of set up for them to put on a fucking sick show. And like I said, what a great way to kind of cap off the entirety of the battle with Drake and shit. And everybody thinking you'll get washed, and then essentially you win the battle, and then you come out victorious by playing at the main show, at the Super Bowl show, especially, you know, when Drake has had some bars in his you know, lyrics pertaining towards the Super Bowl. So on that front, it's fucking fantastic. I'm so happy for Kendrick Lamar, and I really cannot wait to see the performance myself. I can't wait to see it. The thing that's funny about it though has been the response online and all of the conspiracy theories about why he may have got it, why someone like a Lil Wayne was overlooked, especially when you consider the Super Bowl is happening in New Orleans, which is Lil Wayne's hometown, and what that would have meant to the culture, and the fact that Lil Wayne's an avid football fan and sports fan in general, and the fact that he's been pining and wanting to perform at the halftime show for a long time, and he's made that very clear. It just seems a bit odd, especially like I said before, the past has been usually like legacy acts performing at the halftime show. And you wouldn't call Kendrick a legacy act, although he's although I think him and Rihanna are about the same age. Maybe that puts a point out there, but you know what I mean in terms of legacy act. So maybe people were kind of surprised that he would get it over someone like a Lil Wayne. But then again, you think about Lil Wayne, and I don't know about you guys, but as much as I love Lil Wayne, his recent performances, live shows, haven't been that great. I've not really seen people raving about Lil Wayne's live performances. I've seen people talking glowingly about, I don't know, Method Man's performances. I see people talking glowingly about LL Cool J. I see people talking glowingly about, you know, the Locks, Jadakiss, Styles P, and them man when they perform live. I've heard people talk very glowingly about 50 Cent when he performs live. But I've not really heard people speak in glowing terms about Lil Wayne performing live. Legit. So as much as I love Lil Wayne, and I was one of those people when I grew up, when there was a who do you like better between Lil Wayne and Jay-Z, I always was a Lil Wayne guy. Always. I was that guy. I was always mixtape Weezy. He was the best. I didn't give a fuck. Like, I rocked with him even when he was going through his rock phase, that cringy skateboarding truck fit phase. I was always a Wayne dude, personally. So I'm not even trying to besmirch the guy, but let's be real. Live performances wise, especially for that sort of stage, I don't think Lil Wayne of now has shown us any evidence that he can be that guy. But the conversations around it are interesting regardless. Why are they interesting? They're interesting because there's this underlying feeling that because Jay-Z is involved in selecting who performs at the halftime show, and if you're not familiar with the story, allegedly it goes something like this. Colin Kaepernick gets into his issue with the NFL. He just starts kneeling. That causes him to get dropped from his team or cut from his team. Loads of other teams don't want to sign him because he's a distraction. Maybe they don't like black people. I don't know what's going on there. I don't watch football, but most likely I'd imagine a lot of the commissioners just don't want the distraction, and maybe they don't think he's good enough anyway. But that turns into a whole topic about, you know, black representation. I think this is also during the time of George Floyd, and in that sort of like time, in that sort of conversation, in that sort of era, there was a conversation around ownership of teams and representation and all this malarkey. And the NFL was like 90% black players, but there's no representative from the black culture to speak for us and us and us and us and us. Cool. Jay-Z puts his hand up and says, okay, I'll speak for you guys. So Jay-Z slips in there while this whole mess is going on with Colin Kaepernick, and he becomes a like go-to person, the in-between person to kind of put into action some of the plans and some of the ideas a lot of the fucking activists and stuff had behind the kneeling and how to change football and all this malarkey representation. But in actuality, a lot of people are suggesting that Jay-Z didn't do that to help Colin Kaepernick or to help the black community at large over there in America. He solely did it for his own selfish gains, in that Jay-Z's long-term ambition is to own the football team. He's always wanted to be a billionaire. You've spoken, you know, they've got that famous lyric, I'm a businessman. What is that? No, I'm a businessman, not a businessman, or whatever that lyric is. You know what I'm talking about. So he's always been, you know, a bit of a capitalist in that regard. We love him for that. Very business savvy. But allegedly, he's always wanted to have a football team. But it's been one of those hurdles that he's never been able to get over. And owning a football team isn't as easy as buying a house. You kind of have to rub some elbows, shake some hands, kiss some babies, you know, go to fucking, you know, Epstein's house and shit. You have to do some mad stuff. So to get his foot in the door, he became this go-to person, right? He became this go-to person where he's like, okay, I'm going to be the go-to people for the culture and for NFL. But he didn't do it to help Colin. He did it solely for his own purposes. But obviously Jay-Z is also known to be very petty and have loads of beefs with people in the industry that he still holds on to this day. Case in point, Dame Dash, who's got his dentures falling out of his mouth, and you know he doesn't really pay him any dust. He had the exhibition recently. I forgot what it was for, and there was no mention of Dame Dash in any of the exhibition. Although all the roles that, you know, although all the good things he'd done for Rockefeller, was quite disappointing to see. Even though they broke up over horrible terms, still he holds on to things, right? So he holds on to things. And now it seems like people are suggesting that now he's in a position to choose who performs at the halftime show. Some of his own beefs are coming into play, in that people are suggesting that he may have not selected Lil Wayne to perform at the halftime show because of his long-standing beef, quote unquote, with Lil Wayne, but also most recently because of his beef with Drake, and with also his maybe need and want to position himself next to Kendrick to prop up him and to take over Drake. Because there was a suggestion that, I think academics put it out there, that there's a one big artist out there that everybody thinks Drake is cool with, but he actually hates him, or that, you know, the person actually hates Drake. And now people are suggesting that maybe that person who everybody thought Drake was actually cool with is actually Jay-Z, but they're not actually cool. Jay-Z's always had kind of a bit of an issue with him, you know, within a kind of kept under wraps, but there's been some indirects thrown at certain bars and certain lyrics. And a lot of people are up in arms and upset at the fact that Lil Wayne is performing because it's his hometown. They feel like he should, but Jay-Z's kind of blocking that because of his long-standing issues with Lil Wayne, and obviously with the Drake issues happening now at the moment, he's kind of killed two birds with one stone. And of course, people online are not happy. Predominantly, Drake's friends and colleagues. Someone like Birdman came on Twitter recently and said the following: SMH. SMFH, actually, not SMH. He said SMFH. Then he replied back to something Nicki Minaj said and says, "These niggas pussy at Nicki Minaj, Drake, and Lil Wayne. YMCMB, right? Young money, cash money. I make these niggas respect us on Gladys." Then the next tweet, hating shit for real. So Birdman is out here putting it on Gladys. When he puts it on Gladys, he means business. You know, when you put on Auntie Gladys, you know. When you put on Mama Gladys, you know you mean business. So little Birdman's letting it be known that, no, we feel that way. So this is not just internet people making up rumors and starting beef, starting issues. No, this is actually somebody that's associated with Drake, that's associated with people saying this is an issue. We are perturbed, we are annoyed, Lil Wayne should have got it. Well, it gets even worse in terms of people going crazy, because Nicki Minaj flew off the fucking handle with some incredible tweets that really lift the lid on what's going on behind the scenes, right? So this is Nicki Minaj's tweet in defense of Lil Wayne. Denying a young black man what he rightfully put into this rap game for no other reason but your ego. Your hatred for Birdman, Drake, and Nicki got you punishing Lil Wayne. Lil Wayne? The GOAT? Nola, what's good? Eminem stood firm on having 50 Cent come out. A white man, shit sad. House nigga things. But it's good for them. No loyalty, whelp. These niggas will keep on sunning you. Hashtag DATLR Gag City DC. LMAO, Godders feed gal, you are Godders feed them. So Nicki Minaj, number one, referring to Lil Wayne as a young man is hilarious, because I think he's like 40 something, right? But she's basically saying here with her whole chest that Jay-Z's issues with her, Drake, and Birdman has denied Lil Wayne an opportunity. Because people always say that allegedly Lil Wayne just gets on with everybody. He's cool with everybody. Even when we were trying to pit Wayne against Jay, he wasn't really with it. He loves Jay-Z. Like, Lil Wayne actually loves Jay-Z. That's the annoying thing for like Lil Wayne fans. Lil Wayne doesn't have any animosity in his heart for anybody. He's too high. He's fucking too many fucking randoms. He's living a life. He's performing at amazing shows. He's chilling with his son. You know, he's just having a good life. Always smiling. You know, jumps onto fucking ESPN from time to time. You know, talks about sports. He's really completely unbothered. So he really doesn't care as much as everybody else does. But it seems like his colleagues are stepping out and kind of fighting for him, because probably they know he's probably not going to ever do this. You know, he's too kind of chill for it. But she's saying with her whole chest, Jay-Z is a house nigga, by the way. That's crazy, by the way. Somebody with their whole chest saying Jay-Z's a house nigga is fucking wild, especially a fellow artist. It continues though. Next tweet. So somebody says here, wait, this about Wayne? Oh shit. Oh, girl, this shit is out because he would be doing this. He wouldn't be doing this, I guess, for her. So the best person saying, hey, why are you doing this for Wayne? He wouldn't go to town for you like this. And Nicki Minaj says, you think speaking up on injustice within your workplace should only be done if the person would do it for you? I'm really the realest nigga. Wow. At Gag City tonight. I swear to God, my favorite part about these run of tweets from Nicki Minaj is that every last line or two is just another bit of promo for Gag City. Like, Gag City, Gag City, get your tickets now. Tickets still there. Last minute tickets. Like, that's all it is. Like, the last couple of lines in all these tweets that are going at Jay-Z and exposing the industry and talking very candidly about what's going on and all the fucking shucking and jiving and all the disgusting things that happen. It's also an opportunity for her to remind people, hey, I'm selling some new shoes and I'm performing live somewhere. Come see me. I fucking love it. Continuing on, another tweet from her. I tried to tell you all, but y'all wanted brunch. LMFAO, I'm on the fucking roll. Wait, hacked. And if you don't know the reference about that, that basically is referencing Latto. Because Latto the other day, her account got hacked, allegedly. And, you know, the person sent out some crazy tweets. And now people are suggesting that maybe this whole hacking thing that people happen to them is not really real. It's just paid promo. So somebody hacks you, because I think someone was saying that because Lotto's involved in loads of beefs, why wouldn't you just leak the DMs if it's somebody hacked? So somebody hacked her and then said fuck Nicki Minaj, but then it's a hack. But then he didn't leak the DMs. He didn't say anything else. He just said fuck Nicki. So it's all this kind of weird sort of like promo thing. So I guess Nicki's kind of running on from that sort of suggestion that people were saying on the timeline. It continues, but I love also her taking the piss out of the Rock Nation brunch. I love the fact that although a lot of these celebrities try to make that Rock Nation brunch thing seem so prestigious and cool, a lot of us regular civilians, a lot of us quote unquote fans on the outside looking in, we were looking at it thinking, this is kind of lame. This is kind of weird, isn't it? How everyone's kind of sucking up to Jay-Z and Beyonce like this. Even when you go to the Rock Nation brunch, not everybody's allowed to take pictures with Beyonce. I always thought that was a bit weird. You know, they kind of act like they're too good even for other celebrities, you know? Like, they organize a brunch for their friends to come and hang out. But if you want to take pictures with Beyonce, they even act a bit too good for that. Like, oh, it's like, bro, you like, these are celebrities. These aren't even like civilians. These are celebrities, and you're like being all bougie. It's like, fucking hell. So I'm glad that other celebrities too felt that way. Somewhere like a Nicki, like, yeah, Rock Nation brunch is lame. It's not just like us. I look at it from the outside and think this is weird. It continues. Another tweet, she says, if I didn't know you, I don't know if you peeped, but they do this with every hashtag or video relating to you on YouTube with the search algorithm in the background. Okay, so advertising Rock Nation there. It just says, yep, everyone's aware. Clearly they don't care. Why should I? What I'ma do, child? Next one. So this is directly at Jay-Z. This is a very scathing one, by the way. Got everything in the world, still spiteful and evil. Disgusting. Be happy, I beg. Go be fucking happy, nigga. In rap business, in women's business, when you got the politicians and the police, you good though. Plus that ugly, laffy taffy alien at Gang City DC, DTLR, LMFAO. And that I think is very poignant to say, especially when it comes to Jay-Z. And I think that was a point that somebody else made in a video that I want to play here regarding this video that's starring Cameron and Mase. And they made a very, very good point about Jay-Z being way too rich, way too old, way too up, way too successful to still be holding on to these grudges and now be affecting people's like actual real life in the moment careers type of thing, which I thought was a very astute point to make. But on the flip side, having read 48 Laws of Power, there's also a section in there about destroying your enemy totally, like all the way, like literally, you know, rubbing their face in the sand kind of thing. So maybe this is part of it. Maybe Jay-Z's doing what he should be doing. You guys are my enemies. Doesn't matter how much up I am. The fact that I don't like you means that I'm going to continue making sure that you guys don't prosper while I'm still alive. That might be part of the whole point, you know what I mean? But this is Cameron and Mase talking about the whole thing.
and listen, I love Kendrick Lamar. I love the pop up. I think he's one of the top artists of this generation. Period. Hate this election. It's in New Orleans. You don't get Lil Wayne. You That's what we doing.
Yeah.
Listen, you don't get Lil Wayne in New Orleans for the
Hot
Super Bowl.
Boys.
Not just Hot Boys, Cash Money. All the songs Lil Wayne's done, whether it's Blink 182, there's no reason why Lil Wayne should not be performing the Super Bowl. It's one person who's stopping this. I know, it's not really a secret. Lil Wayne had a problem with somebody before who's kind of part of the organization running it. This is payback. Who's that? Who's Lil Wayne artist? Drake.
Yeah,
I'm
that's
not, this is
hating at this age is crazy.
It's crazy,
Yeah.
bro. It's ridiculous. Like
Hating
Mike,
at this
Mike.
age
There's
is
some hip hop
crazy.
shit that you probably don't know what's going on. To be totally honest with you, so we'll school you behind the scenes. Lil Wayne not to be performing in New Orleans for the Super Bowl is egregious. And it gotta stop.
I can do that.
It gotta stop. Mike, we'll tell you what's going on later. It gotta stop, bro. It gotta stop, man.
Yeah, and I'm doubling down on that. Hating at this age is crazy.
Yeah,
yo.
it's
I love
wild.
Lil Wayne.
It's wild, bro.
Man. I work with Lil Wayne. I love him. Great dude. Great dude.
And this has
dude,
nothing
man.
towards Kendrick. If anybody deserved it, Kendrick deserves
Yeah.
it. But there's some
Right, I
backstory
feel you.
shit going on
Yeah.
while Lil Wayne is not performing the Super Bowl.
All
Right.
good points.
Right, I can dig it.
Yeah, that's sad. That's so sad. Yeah, that's like really sad. Like, come on, my nigga.
For real, bro.
You're that insecure, man. Like, come on.
It's crazy. It's crazy. Me and you were supposed to be at Fanatics
Same thing.
3 weeks ago. The week before Fanatics happens. Oh, Cam and Mase didn't sign the contract. We banned from Fanatics, but who's at Fanatics?
I'm gonna start saying names.
Yo, it's wild, man. It's wild.
The hate is crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah. We'll
Yeah,
tell you.
you right,
We'll tell you
though.
about it later, Mike. We'll tell you about it
We
later.
gotta get bigger though.
Yeah,
You're
man.
right though.
We
You're
do.
right. So we'll hold on to stuff, man. And when we come together and get things done much bigger and better, you're right.
Yeah.
And we'll hold on to it forever. So I'm with you on that.
Yep. But no, this has none against Kendrick Lamar.
Yeah, none against
Yeah.
Kendrick.
We think if any kind of artist deserve it, but Lil Wayne not to perform in New Orleans at the Super Bowl, it's kind of tough, man.
Yeah, I just said Hot Boys because everybody's out. BG out.
But what I'm saying is
Juvie.
you said everything right. But Lil Wayne's such a star. He could, you know how many songs he's done with other people, and then you bring the Hot Boys out at the
Yeah.
end. Crazy.
Yo, big up Michael Irvin as well, sounding all bunged up, right? He's probably got a couple of 8 balls up each nostril. Residue is still sitting in there. Big up fucking Michael Irvin, the legend. But yeah, they make a good point about, Jay-Z maybe should be able to get over it or just put his feelings to one side and allow a legend like Lil Wayne to perform to do such a thing on that sort of stage. It's something that will be good for the culture overall, and it's probably bigger than whatever beef or issue that he might personally have with Lil Wayne. But as I said personally before, I think there is a law in the 48 Laws of Power about destroying your enemies totally. And I'm actually going to check this up on here now. I think there is a 48 Laws of Power. Let's see. I'm pretty sure it is on here. Let me see if I've got this. I'm pretty sure there's a list. Actually, let me just write list. I'm pretty sure there's a actual section on there about destroying your enemies totally. So as much as I would like to get on Jay-Z for being a little bit petty and just not letting things go, if you actually do have beef, with someone, you should be trying to destroy them totally. And what better way than getting in the position which he is in now, where he's the fucking billionaire guy, legit billionaire guy, not even like people that just have billionaire through assets. No, he's billionaire. So it makes complete sense why he would be doing this. So let's see here. Let's see some of the laws here. Never outshine the master. Never put too much trust in friends. Not too much depends on reputation. Let's see. I think it's enemy, right? Enemy. Crush your enemy. There you go. Law 15. Totally crush your enemy. Totally. That's what it says there, Law 15, motherfuckers. Totally. So is Jay-Z wrong for denying Lil Wayne the opportunity to perform at the Super Bowl in his hometown? Yes. Is he wrong when it comes to the 48 Laws of Power? No. Because Law 15 says, crush your enemy totally. Crush your enemy completely. If you leave even one ember smoldering, it will eventually ignite. You can't afford to be lenient. Total crushing. So maybe this is what Jay-Z is doing with what's his face at the moment. This is what probably he's doing with Lil Wayne. This might be what he's doing. Let's actually check this example. Oh, okay, this is this is a preview. Doesn't really matter, but you get the point, right? So let's go back to actual tweets itself, so we can see what other tweets here was said about the particular situation. So you got this about Nicki Minaj saying you got everything in the world, still being spiteful and evil, disgusting. Be happy, I beg. Go fucking be happy, nigga. In rap business, in women's business, when you get the politicians and the police, you good though. Plus that ugly Laffy Taffing alien. I'm not sure who the Laffy Taffing alien is, but I think that's hilarious. Another one which is very scathing. This is very scathing, by the way. One nigga took a knee, the other nigga took the bag. He gonna get you niggas in line every fucking time. Hashtag Keg City DC DTLR. Ouch. Another one. Go enjoy your fucking money before it's too late. Another one. Yep, and I never care by the time they figure it out. It's good for them though. Y'all ready? Y'all know this next move is going to be to tell y'all a certain someone is being treated so unfairly so that y'all can go back into that trance. A certain someone, I think he means Megan Thee Stallion. Another one. I love watching the industry play dumb time after time. The truth is, no matter who tells it, picking and choosing who y'all accept the truth from, then bam, pow. Might tell y'all a joke, but I won't tell you a lie. Bah ha 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 ha. Another one. Oh, same one, alright? We got that. Cool. So, you see what's going on there. You see what's going on there. So it's just caused a whole entire shitstorm. Everybody is suffering from the back of it. In the end, the really sad thing about it is that Kendrick Lamar's got this amazing opportunity to perform at the Super Bowl, and it's now been completely overlooked, and people are not talking about that anymore, and they're talking about all the politics and all the other beef that's going on. And essentially you could look at it another way and say Jay-Z essentially stole Kendrick's moment. He kind of co-opted it to serve his own needs, to kind of remind the people that he has beef with, that he's the one in charge, that he's the big boss man, right? To kind of put them in their place. He's kind of taken away the some of the hype, some of the joy from Kendrick's moment, and made it kind of all about him. Now I'm sure he didn't intend to do that. Maybe we're all reading into it too much. Who knows? Maybe tomorrow fucking Lil Wayne comes out with his fucking unbothered ass, right? He's fucking annoying unbothered ass. Lil Wayne might come out and say, you know what, I have no problem. Lil Wayne might come out tomorrow and say, you know what, actually I was offered the fucking Super Bowl, but I couldn't do it because I have prior engagements. Maybe he could. Maybe this is all just fans going crazy. Maybe Lil Wayne will be like, hey man, I couldn't do it because I'm already booked for some tour in fucking Malta and they paid me loads of money, or I've got some gig to perform in fucking the Middle East that I can't turn down or I can't cancel. That's why I can't do the Super Bowl. I'm gutted. I wish Kendrick all the best, right? Maybe Kendrick even brings out Lil Wayne. Who knows? It wouldn't be a good idea, by the way. I don't think it's a good idea if Kendrick did bring out Lil Wayne, because that would look incredibly disloyal to fucking Drake. And Drake's been one of, Lil Wayne's biggest proponents and champions out there. So I don't think that would be nice. But that could be possible, right? That could be fucking possible. Then you got also here Boosie saying something too. Boosie says, all y'all acting like y'all cool with how they playing it for the Super Bowl. SMH, the most cultural city in the USA, New Orleans, is a smack in the face to every hip-hop legend from Louisiana. Master P, Birdman. This shows they never wanted y'all to kick in the door in the first place, because they still trying to look it. Super Bowl 22 was in Cali, and Cali artists were allowed to do their thing. It was a great show, but now it's in Louisiana and no Louisiana legends can't do their thing. Hashtag I don't respect it. To be fair, he's making a lot of good points. He's not lying here. Boosie's making a lot of great points. Now, there is a little bit of entitlement there. Just because it's in New Orleans doesn't mean Louisiana rappers have to perform there. I'm sure there's going to be Super Bowls in other locations that won't have people from there performing, but I get what he means in totality. I do get what he means. Then we got a couple more Nicki Minaj tweets. Bots and blogs are being sent astronomical wads of cash in a paper bag as we speak. Laugh out louds, right? Hashtag Gag City. Keep loving this. Another tweet from her. Every content creator and every bot farm just got money call. Guys, check your message. Every tweet will contain tones of engagement from accounts that look very peculiar when you click on them. Hashtag Gag City tonight. My sneakers are now at DTLR. I love it. That's what 50 Cent used to do, right? 50 Cent used to do that all the time. Whenever he'd be beefing, he'd be hashtagging all these shows and atting his companies and shit at the bottom of the tweets. Another one. This is really funny though, by the way, because this person at the bottom called Tori Wan Kenobi, hashtag Majesty Raya, is somebody that I follow on social and usually has a lot of really cool and interesting hot takes on music. And she's always kind of getting involved and throwing some really good hot takes out there. So it was wild when I saw her get quote tweeted by Nicki. I was like, shit. Oh no, what's happening? So this person tweeted to Nicki, or tweeted about the situation, not to Nicki, about the situation, and said the first rapper to headline the Super Bowl halftime show needed to be somebody who would represent his art to the highest degree. That's not Lil Wayne in 2024. So this person, Majesty Raya, is trying to be very respectful in saying that some people are also saying this on social, not only me, that maybe this version of Lil Wayne at the moment isn't maybe the version needed to represent hip-hop on the highest level. And maybe his performances as of late have been quite lackluster and very bad, that people won't want to see him perform on the Super Bowl stage. It might be a bit of an embarrassment and he might do more harm and good to his legacy. So maybe take some time away, build yourself up again, live performances wise, let people kind of make people want you again, to see you perform live again. You know, that kind of, maybe we'll kind of remind people about your power performing live and your talent. So obviously Nicki Minaj did not agree with this person's assessment because she said the following: God will punish you. What an opening line. God will punish you. As a tweet. Mark my words. The man that has not only pushed this pen the hardest, but gave the game more than one hip-hop icon, he's talking about her, of course, and Drake, as well on his watch, represent the rap game? The best rapper don't represent the rap game well enough for you? Black people. Wow. If this don't hurt your heart to read, it will one day. Look at how our legends keep being treated after they've given so much to us. Who are you? You God? Judgmental swine. Delete. You will regret tweeting this. Life is funny that way. Don't you dare turn your nose up at Lil Wayne, you dick munching bozo. At Gag City DC tonight. My sneakers are now at DTLR. So grateful for this partnership. Honestly, what is wrong with this woman? How you start a tweet off by saying God will punish you, mark my words, and then end it by saying my sneakers are now at DTLR. So grateful for this partnership. Gotta love capitalism, innit? Gotta love living in a capitalistic world. There's always a good time to promote and market your shit. So there's Nicki saying what she said to her, right? And there's a lot to unpack there, but essentially Nicki, and what I think a lot of kind of like approaching legacy act status people are saying, you get the feeling a lot of them are kind of basically saying that there's not a lot of respect in the industry, especially amongst hip-hop people, or especially within the hip-hop industry, sorry, for the legends. They kind of get overlooked, they kind of get dismissed. I think you even saw it with 50 Cent, I'm not gonna lie, and G Unit. I don't know if I'm talking out my ass here, but I feel like G Unit Renaissance came because of the tours that they were doing in Europe and outside of North America. I feel like a lot of people kind of maybe, I wouldn't say turn their nose up at them, but maybe didn't give the respect that they deserved. Then they go over to Europe, of course, in places where they don't usually go, and the fan bases over there are crazy, and they're still in love with the stuff that they do, and a lot of those guys are still looked as icons. And then they get reminded, oh shit, these guys are actually really important. They gave us a lot of hits, they gave us a lot of great moments. They're still some of our best performers. Like, you see 50 perform live, and you're like, Jesus Christ. Yeah, that's it. Dubai, big up Chiefs for exactly, yeah, Dubai. So I think maybe a lot of these legends are starting to realize now that they're not getting the love and the respect that they think they should be getting from home base. So they're getting annoyed by it, they're getting frustrated, they're getting maybe worried for what's to come for the end of their career. And now they're seeing it play out in real time with somebody that they're close with or they know. It's probably worrying them. Really, it's really fucking worrying them. Like, what the fuck is going on here? Like, how are we not respecting people who have done so much for the culture and for us, and we're not honoring their legacy? We're not really talking to them with, we're not really talking about them with reverence on this malarkey. But I also think a lot of that is a bit like, come on, like, you know, just because you're a legacy act doesn't mean you're above reproach. Doesn't mean people aren't allowed to have a difference of opinion when it comes to how they're viewed, or artistically, or stage wise, or whatever it may be called. I think this fairly okay what that lady said. She was being very polite about it as well, so I'm okay with it. I don't really mind. And then another one here says her directly talking about Kendrick, because I think a lot of people are basically saying that she and a lot of people are using the name Kendrick to kind of get at Jay-Z, because no one wants to say Jay-Z's name too much because you don't want to end up in a fucking bar. So people are kind of using Kendrick's name as a way to kind of talk about Jay-Z. But Nicki was kind of direct here, or more direct, and made it very clear and says, you can love and respect Kendrick and still love and respect Wayne. Even Kendrick loves and respects Wayne. Every real rapper loves and respects Wayne. Hashtag Gag City, tonight is the night. The whole DMV area. I'll see y'all soon. We'll have a beautiful, magical, successful show. So clearly, this again is something that I thought was very interesting, because I felt like Kendrick has always made it clear how much of a big fan of Lil Wayne he has been. And in another situation, if he wasn't beefing with Drake, I think he would have brought out Lil Wayne anyway. You know, that's the situation. So unfortunately, because of their ongoing beef, I don't think Lil Wayne will go out for his loyalty to Drake. But in any other situation, Kendrick would have definitely brought out Lil Wayne. But, you know, he can't do it now. It's too late. But yeah, that's the situation at the moment. Beef never ending between all of these situations. And like I said before, it's really unfortunate because Kendrick's moment gets taken away from him. You know, it's such a monumental moment. It's such a great achievement. It's most likely going to be an incredible show. And now it's all been mired and it's all been overtaken by this nonsense debate and conjecture and talk and whatever it may be about, you know, the kind of the chess pieces of the game and how things move and who's on top and who isn't, and ongoing beef and blah, blah, blah. But one thing that is for sure, like, it's good to see that the tide is changing around Jay-Z. As much as I love Jay-Z as an MC and a rapper, because I've been a big fan of the Joe Budden podcast and listen to New Warrior more, for a few years, it's kind of been nauseating and almost uncomfortable to hear how these guys just suck Jay-Z off and everything that he does is good and he's so smart and intelligent and he just knows so much more than everybody else and he moves so strategically and people are reading into the most minute things and making it to this. It's just annoying. It's nauseating. When at the heart of it, all you see really, if you're not really the biggest kind of fan of his, is the kind of, you know, is the selfishness really, right? Is the unparalleled levels of greed and, you know, and just basically pure capitalism and not really, you know, pretending to be like for the people, pretending to be all about the culture, pretending to be all about black people, especially in America, but then really just using it as an opportunity to sell things and to, you know, to sell people things and whatever it may be called. And then I also have never really liked, this is a bit of a small pet peeve of mine when it comes to Jay. I've never liked the kind of like condescending tone he has when he raps as well. When he mentions certain things, oh, your niggas are still doing this, I'm doing this now, your niggas are still doing that, I got this now, you know, my paintings are worth more than your houses. It's like, bro, of course they are. You're like 50 something years old, you've been in the game forever, you're the best MC, you make all the money, of course you're gonna have everything. Like, of course you're gonna have George condos in your fucking kitchen. Like, it doesn't mean my little fucking small IKEA live laugh love frame picture thing isn't as good or isn't valuable or isn't worthy of adoration. He's out here telling people to buy one thing, then when it gets to bait and everyone's buying it and he's too rich, he then says, nah, don't buy that, that shit's lame. It's like, bro, make your mind up, man. Make your mind up and stop poor shaming. You know what I mean? It's so annoying. But hey, what can we do? What can we do? I'm actually I'm actually really looking forward to a live show. And it's funny too, by the way. It's funny too. It's happening in February of 2025. All of this beef, all of this arguments, all of this talking, all of this fucking bickering, and this shit is happening in February of 2025, motherfuckers. It's not even like it's happening in December. February. At the end of February. It's like, fucking hell. Oh yeah, I'm tired of it. I'm over it already. Cool. Let's move on quickly. Let's talk about Supreme and Martine Rose. I don't know about you guys, but when I heard about this being rumored, first of all, courtesy of Drops GG on Twitter, big up them. They always post great fucking news and great kind of fucking details about collections and prices and just generally always being on the button. They mentioned before, oh yeah, big collaborations happening, Martine Rose and Supreme, and everyone kind of got excited, myself included. Now that I've seen the pieces, I'm even more excited. I know a lot of people have had a lot of bad things to say about this collection or this collaboration, but I personally think it's fucking fire. Now, I'm not too sure if some of the people who are not liking it are just maybe not fans of Martine Rose in general, or maybe they're expecting more, maybe because they are fans of Martine Rose, they're expecting more like runway-esque level Martine Rose, but I think because it's a collaboration with Supreme, and the quantities will be, super high compared to what she probably produces for her own label, or for her own fashion brand. I think it makes sense that we get a sort of like diffusion line-esque Martine Rose for Supreme, but it's still amazing. It's still got all the right notes to it. It's still very unique to look at. It's still just something that you would instantly want to buy, especially someone like myself anyway, and the kind of style that I have. So let's read the blurb here, courtesy of Supreme. It says the following: over 20 years, Martine Rose has become a hugely impactful voice in a contemporary menswear. Since debuting her first full runway collection in 2012, Martine has honed a distinct and authentic design and approach that subverts the traditional codes of masculinity and reimagines menswear familiar themes with surprising new slants. Drawing inspiration from her heritage and the people she meets each day, Martine proposes new interpretations of ordinary clothes. She takes the seemingly mundane and pushes it into a newness and utilizing unsuspecting fabrication. Growing up in London shaped her approach to design. The quote says, I had this broad sense of clothing being associated with different nights and different scenes. I had a precious experience of dance, music, and cultures. It wasn't fashion. My family's Jamaican, and there's a very, very particular respect for style. Fashion was something almost basic. If you had style, that was something else. Supreme has worked with Martine Rose on a new collection for the fall 2024. The collection consists of leather jackets, blah, 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 blah. Supreme and Martine Rose have produced a 44-page black and white photo zine as well to document the collection. All profits from the zine will be donated to the St. Giles Trust, a UK charity helping people affected by homelessness, substance abuse, or violence transform their lives and make meaningful change. Yo, that is so fucking cool. All profits, by the way, not a portion of the profits, all profits. So give Martine Rose her fucking flowers and big up Supreme for putting this together too. Number one, let's just start off with the pieces that I obviously love, because there's too much stuff in here to get through. I'm gonna get through all of it. So the leather jacket, fucking love. Would wear the fuck out of it. Again, reminds me of something that you would find in a vintage shop somewhere. Also reminds me of those like Lucky 8 strike jackets with the sort of like triangle panel dart thing at the front. Love the look of that, not gonna lie. The back of it looks fucking fantastic. Martine Rose Supreme, MRS, I fucking love that sub label. This parka for me is hands down one of my favorite items. This is something that I would buy in a fucking heartbeat. The parka is fucking fire. Down parka, you'd imagine standard garb. On the chest here, you got the MRS. Now more than anything, got the pouch on the front chest pocket. You've also got a nice kind of rubberized, I think what looks like a label here on the sleeve that's also said MRS, and you've also got some branding on the zips as well. So straight up easy cop. That Parker is an easy fucking cop. And of course on the back you've also got Martine Rose Supreme. If I was being picky, I wouldn't prefer the logo on the back. You've already got on the front, but I fucking love it. You got another the same jacket, sorry, in blue without the hood on, I'm assuming. I think it's the same jacket in blue there without the hood, which is really nice as well. But I think that the one with the different, with every sort of puffer being different color is probably better for me. I personally think that looks probably a little bit better. You've also got a suit. You've got a cheetah print shirt on there that's wearing on the inside. The suit I'm not really that bothered about, to be completely honest, but so that'd be great. This velour tracksuit is another big win for me personally. This velour track jacket is fucking great. Another velour track jacket, I think it's a bit different. No, it's the same colorway, sorry, same style, different colorway. That's fucking brilliant. I'd wear the fuck out of it. I actually like how he's wearing it. It's very pimp. It's very gangster. It's kind of, it reminds me of people that would have worn something in ends from where I am in the area that I'm from in London. But I love the combination of the velour tracksuit with some nice leather loafers. That looks fucking hard. I'll wear the fuck out of that. The jean jacket, which I think is reversible. The denim jacket that might be reversible is fucking amazing. It reminds me of this old Voy. I think they were Voy jeans. It was sort of like a, I don't know if it was even legit. I remember I bought some Voy jeans or Voy jeans suit in like Dalston back in the day, from Dalston Market or Hackney Market. And they used to have these Voy jeans, and they have like different words kind of like sprayed across the jean jacket. One big, some small font, and it would be some faded, some not faded. So that's what that kind of reminds me of. So, you know, old school fucking like yard man in Dawson and shit will be wearing these sort of things, whole suits. And that used to be an actual look. People don't do that nowadays anymore, but that used to be a look back in the day, wearing denim suits and then wearing Air Maxes, usually Air Max 95s, and they usually have maybe an Armani Exchange t-shirt on or something, so to really kind of show that you're flexing. So I mean, and some leather pants as well, which look pretty cool. That's the jacket reversed. You've got this quilted orange liner, which looks fucking brilliant. I'm not gonna lie, I love that. And it's got a big Martine Rose logo on the back. That reminds me of a mat you'd see somewhere in the snooker hall or on a beer mat in a local pub. So again, it's just giving great vibes. I love everything about it, I'm not gonna lie. The leather pants there look fucking incredible too. I love the look of these leather pants. Those look so fucking great. I love the paneling on the side as well. I'm assuming they could probably come to the jacket. Then one of my favorite pieces for me is this bag. This is a perfect size for a DJ bag, and it's got the MRS on there as well. The strap here that kind of goes around your body, which I think is a perfect fit, and there's a couple of loops here on the top and some pockets here on the side. But this is a perfect DJ everyday bag that I would carry. I love it. I love one of these, and you know, I'm a stickler for bags, or I've got shit in my pocket, so this sort of stuff is perfect. That shirt is fucking gorgeous as well. Not gonna lie, it's kind of giving Roberto Cavalli. This is kind of giving Roberto Cavalli again. Raver shirt. If you know, you know. The jersey is fucking brilliant. I'm not mad at the jersey at all. The pants are great. There's this sweatshirt is really nice as well, with the diamond print. This knitwear, sorry, top is pretty nice with the logo on the back. Do yourself a favor. I love that. Do yourself a favor. Yes, mate. This is pure Cockney slang. Love the look of this. This is really nice as well. The same shirt, same jumper. You know what? This guy, what's his name? Navy blue, isn't it? Right? Sage Elsa. Doesn't he kind of look like Mo Salah? You know? Doesn't he kind of look like Mo Salah? Sage Elsa. If he does cut his hair, he would look a lot like Mo Salah. I don't know. I just realized that now looking at him, but he kind of does look like Mo Salah. Big up Sage also, big up Navy blue. Then we got another hoodie. Look at that hoodie. Oh, look at that hoodie, bro. I love shit like this with the what you call it? With the stripes in the blue and the red, and you've got the Supreme logo there written in this handwriting script. Martine Rose written on there as well. I'll just don't fuck with the drawstrings on the hoodie. I'll take those away. The hat looks really cool as well, but that hoodie is fucking buff. I'm not gonna lie. I think that might be the back of the hoodie, maybe. I'm not too sure. I think it might be. Yeah, and there's Paloma Elsa, Sage's sister, the model. She's also wearing another hoodie here that's got patches all over it. I really love. Again, they look like beer mats or like carpets you'd find in pubs, written, stitched on the entirety of the fucking hood. Fucking looks amazing. And she's got a dump truck there on the back, right? Just peeking, reminding man what time it is. Look at her, Paloma just with a dumpy. Big up Paloma still. We continue. Another little hoodie there. We like to see. The Clarks, I'm not really that too fond of, I'm not gonna lie. The Clarks look a little bit too nuts for me. I'm not gonna lie. The shirt is pretty decent. Nice t-shirt print there. And again, there's the script logo that says, okay, in collaboration with, yeah, I love that shirt. I'm not gonna lie. That shirt looks fucking brilliant. And we've also got another hoodie as well. So for me personally, if I had to pick, I'd say the DJ bag, the kind of everyday bag is one of the best ones. This down puffer jacket is fucking phenomenal. That's something I would definitely would want to cop. It also comes in black. The suit, I'm not really too bothered about too much. To be fair, the suit is actually a good idea. If you want to get a Martine Rose suit, this probably will be the cheapest way to get it, unless you want to buy obviously the runway piece. But if you want a Martine Rose, suit in your wardrobe, that might be a good place to get it. The denim, the reversible trucker jacket is great as well. Don't get me wrong, but again, it's just another denim jacket. I'll probably get the hoodies instead. It also comes in black, which is pretty nice. But obviously the one in blue with the orange lining is definitely the best. The jeans that go with it, with the cargo jean things, I'm not really too fond of, I'm not gonna lie. This is giving, like, when kids from Africa get exchanged and come to live in the UK and come to your school, they usually would wear stuff like this. I'm not really down for denim cargo pants, I'm not gonna lie. But we continue. The velour top, the velour tracksuit is fucking killer. So this velour track jacket and also the matching pants, easy cop. Wearing these with a pair of fucking GH Bass tassel loafers, it's on top for you. Everybody's laughing, everybody's happy, everybody's having a good time. These are fucking brilliant. This shirt, this Roberto Cavalli-esque shirt, this patchwork shirt is fucking gorgeous. Absolutely gorgeous. I could imagine doing a bunch of 8 balls, pretending to smoke a cigarette, you know what I mean? Like, having a popper or two wearing a shirt like this for sure. I could definitely envision myself doing that. This diamond print sweatshirt is also very nice as well. Sweater. It also comes in that cream color, which I love the look of. This hoodie, the towel hoodie is fucking brilliant too. It also comes in black and in a white. Oh, actually, I think that red color that Paloma's wearing is actually maybe the best color. That red color might be the best, or maybe the black after. And then you've also got this hooded sweatshirt with the stripes on it. It also comes in black and just the stripes, which I really love the look of. I'm not mad at all. And then the jersey, you can't go wrong with the jersey. All colors of these are great. The white or the black, I wouldn't be too happy or been too mad about having either. The t-shirt with Lee Scratch Perry is really cool as well. You got the Clarks, which are pretty decent, but again, not for me. And then of course we're gonna go into the bags and the scarves and shit. So the hat is pretty cool. The hat is a towel patchwork 5-panel thing, which I think might be actually quite nice to wear because it might actually keep you cool. I'm not gonna lie, this might actually be pretty decent to wear. It's a 6-panel hat, so I don't know if my head is gonna fit, but these do look pretty nice. I'm not gonna lie, these do look fucking cool. And then of course there's matching. I would have wished they would have done the towel. I wish they would have done this patchwork design on also the scarf. I think that would have been pretty sick if they was able to do that patchwork towel design on the scarf, but no. And then also the bag, right? So the bag, the colorway to get is definitely this blue one, right? This blue with the khaki thing. This is definitely the colorway to get. It's a fucking perfect DJ bag size. Look at that. And it's got all the Martine Rose branding on it. Like you rock up to a gig, with your Sennheiser fucking HD25 stuffed into these and your shitty USB sticks and a couple of fucking, converters and whatnot and jacks and whatnot in your pocket or in the patches outside, that you are feeling yourself. And there's also, oh, look at that. There's also a stash can if you want to take some drogas inside with you as well. And there's also a whistle in case you're getting raped. You can also blow it so you can get some assistance. So big up Martine Rose for doing that. Big up Supreme for doing that. I think this all drops on Thursday. If not, check the website. You know where to check it. You know where to find out. Moving on. Oh my god, my fucking chest. To the most important news of the day. The most important news of the day. Oh, big up Fashion Road, man. Just see you there. Wagwan. A lot of Supreme X Martine Rose stuff reminds me of when Martine Rose collaborated with Napapa Bergiri. Oh yeah, true. Good point. Actually, that Parker. Oh, now you said it, man. You kind of killed the hype. Doesn't that Parker look a little bit like that half zip thing they did with them? Yeah, that was everywhere. That got faked a million. That was maybe one of the most faked items. What was that? Do you remember that Parker? Maybe that is that where that Parker comes from? That Martine Rose. It was that half one. Oh man, look at you killing the fucking hype of this thing, man. Shit, you killed the hype of this. Yeah, look, motherfucker, man, you killed the hype of that jacket. Yeah, that Parker, this one, that one there, that one right there. That's where no wonder I was going fucking hard for that fucking Parker. No wonder I was ready to go, because I think I've seen something similar before. You know, damn. Yeah, there we go. Okay, cool. Well, nothing new under the sun, innit? There's nothing new under the sun. Everyone's self-referencing these days, so hey, if the whites can do it, so can Martine Rose, so can Auntie Martine. If the whites can do it, so can Auntie Martine. Oh man, yeah. No wonder I was so activated. And if I'm not mistaken, I think actually the pouch or the patch is actually similar to what she's designed on there. I'm sure of it. Or maybe the patch was the same thing on what was that thing that Kanye wore? What was that famous Martine Rose Kanye? What did Kanye wear again? I think it was like a Martine Rose Kanye. I remember he wore like a famous thing and it had like a patch. I think that might be the same. Yeah, there we go. Oh man, hate fucking Fashion Road, man. Anyway, too much fucking knowledge in that head of his. It's annoying. Now I can't unsee this. Whatever. Long. Let's move on. Fucking hell. So in more crushing of the dreams, right? If that wasn't enough to crush my dreams, let's go on to this main story of today's podcast, which is regarding the one and only Tremaine Emory. Tremaine Emory isn't too happy with me, unfortunately. It seems like I got under his skin somewhat, or maybe he's just annoyed at seeing people say bad things about his brands and maybe him personally, and he kind of threw his toys at the pram and effectively blocked me. I've been blocked on social media, on Twitter specifically, by the one and only Tremaine Emory, the founder of Denim Tears. Number one, I think men blocking other men on social media is incredibly gay and incredibly retarded with a capital R. Gay with a capital G and retarded with a capital R. I'm already demonetized, so it doesn't fucking matter who gives a fucking shit. It's the truth. A man going onto another man's profile, clicking their page, going to the dots, scrolling down, selecting block because they said something they didn't like on social media, it's fucking retarded and it's fucking gay. Why is it retarded and gay, you ask, Agostino? Because if somebody's not directly going under your shit and trying to like poke at you and fucking tickle your fucking balls, or kind of touch your balls, or just be annoying and keep kicking you in the fucking nuts all the time, that's one thing. Then maybe the block feature might be an option. But I still think as a man, you should not be going out of here to block anybody. Like really and truly, if it's really that deep, just turn your phone off. Do you know what I mean? Go outside, touch grass. It's not that deep. But I think when somebody's just talking about you and what you do on your own shit, like that's what I was doing. I wasn't even talking to him directly. I was talking about the situation that was going on, because if you're not familiar, when the Martine Rose collaboration was announced, for some reason, and I would love to know why actually, that might be a good question to know actually why. For some reason, when the Martine Rose collaboration was announced, Tremaine felt it necessary to come up on social media and basically throw a lot of indirects out there about the collection, and about maybe throwing that suggestion out there that maybe Martine Rose had copied some of his designs, maybe Supreme had copied some of his designs in the collaboration. I don't really know what he said. He wasn't really being clear, but this is what he said on social, and what people deduced to be him maybe throwing some subliminal shots at Martine Rose and Supreme for their recent collaboration. So when it was announced, that Martine Rose and Supreme were collaborating, Tremaine tweeted the following: "Them hipsters at 62 King Street better stop jacking my style. Y'all be doing it for years. That shit is a rap beat. Shit is blood sport out here. Jigger no. Some y'all ain't gonna walk down Spring Street since 176 opened." And as my nigga on Over and Under, big up Over and Under, which I'm a big fan of, they clearly stated here to kind of clear up any, you know, miscommunication. 62 King Street refers to the Supreme headquarters. Rather than retail locations, Supreme physical stores are located in other districts in New York, such as Broadway, Bowery, and Brooklyn. So in this sort of like weird quasi gangster faux message he was sending, I guess he was trying to make it known that the people at Supreme HQ were copying some of his shit, jacking some of his shit. He's had enough, and it's on site for people. That's what I kind of got from what he was saying. I don't really know. Maybe I'm reading too much into it. When I saw this tweet, right, I was disappointed. I'm not gonna lie. I was disappointed because I felt as if this guy turned a corner. After listening to the interview that he did with that Angelo Back guy from Awake, who also used to work at Supreme and is now doing some bits with his brand, and I've kind of reviewed some of their full collection, and it's really fucking good. It's kind of improving season in, season out. But when he sat down with Angelo Back on the Business of Hype Beast podcast, and they spoke about Supreme, it sounded like by that point he'd already got over it, because I felt like he went through like 3 or 4 interviews, 3 or 4 cycles of like frustration and annoyance and saying shit online and going fucking crazy. But it seemed like when he spoke to that Angelo Back guy and they had a real conversation, because obviously Angelo also used to work for Supreme and Angelo also left to do his own brand, so you could deduce that maybe Angelo also maybe had his own issues with Supreme that made him leave and want to do his own thing. I don't know, I'm not putting words in his mouth, but you can maybe deduce. So I felt like when they sat down, they had a lot of stuff in common. And, you know, Angelo probably got it. And without even saying certain things, they were able to kind of get through it. And I think at that particular interview, I think that might have been the first one I listened to of Tremaine where he actually took some accountability. Because from the previous ones, he took 0 accountability. He made it seem like Supreme did everything wrong. He was completely perfect. He was above reproach. Didn't do anything wrong at all. And that they scummed him. They fucking snaked him. And it's all their fault. And then, of course, you know, he threw out, you know, ludicrous claims out there that they were, you know, systemically racist and all this malarkey, right? Which is, you know, doesn't even bother to kind of entertain or to talk about, especially when you're the one that's getting hired. It doesn't make any sense. But regardless, it seemed like he kind of got over it when he spoke to Angelo Back. And it was like, oh, thank God. Because knowing this guy briefly for a very short time, I think I might have met him in real life, maybe twice in real life. But even when I met him twice in real life, and maybe I'd heard of him through other people speaking, because I think he was way more closer with another friend of mine than I was with him, to be honest. But, you know, people always kind of speak highly of him. And at that time too, when he was in London coming up, he was very friendly and close with A-Side. And A-Side is somebody that I kind of knew very closely when I was younger too. Somebody that kind of essentially gave me my start in the streetwear scene, gave me the job, basically single-handedly gave me the job on a plate to work at 1948, which then opened all the doors for me to go to all these different places, go to, you know, call different internships and work at magazines and do my own thing and right? It's unfortunate how it ended, you know, with that guy, because, you know, I don't really like him anymore too much, but he was responsible for legitimately, you know, holding the door open and allowing me to kind of walk through, especially back in those days when the streetwear scene and sneaker scene in London was super cliquey and full of wankers and shit. I'm not sure, it might be the same thing now, but back then it was a worse. So you kind of needed that intro, and once I got that intro with the Mase side and I got the co-sign from Nike, it was fucking easy, you know what I mean? It's plain sailing, which is really gross, but it's the way it is. But even back then, when everybody knew A-Side was a bit of a cunt and hard to get on with, but you had to kind of had to figure it out because he was the main guy at Nike at the time. Tremaine was also always seen, or not even at the time, just A-Side was a cunt in general, but Tremaine was always seen as like the nice guy. Oh, he's the nice one. He's the good, like he's the personable one. I don't know if that's true. Maybe I'm reading too much into it, but it always seemed like he was the, you know, if A-Side was a bad cop, he was a good cop. So he had a lot of like goodwill behind him. And if anything, I'd kind of look at him similar to like what Heron Preston was doing in New York. Similar, where it was like the personality, the guy around town, he's all at all the parties, he knows everybody, used to work at Marc Jacobs, you know, all this sort of stuff. Like everyone kind of was rooting for him. So I think when this whole like thing happened and he was able to kind of make Denim Tears into a thing, and before that the capsule collection he did with, I think it was under Art Dads, that was done with that was done when Virgil was still at Off-White, when he was still alive, RIP to him. It seemed like everybody was like happy, oh shit, one of the good guys has sort of like made it and is kind of doing their thing. And obviously Denim Tears takes off and it does this thing and it kind of blows up and shit and everything's looking fucking rosy. But then I guess, unfortunately, I guess what we've seen with Tremaine, and again, maybe because I don't really know the guy too well, I don't really know him at all, but maybe this is kind of evidence that the industry does corrupt you at some point. Because I think the person that I was aware of, the good guy, was a good guy, but eventually along the way the industry just does something to you, whether it breaks your heart, whether it breaks your resolve, whether it disappoints you, whether it betrays you. Something happens in an industry that turns even decent people that you were rooting for, that you were like, oh shit, this is sick. And I think, even though I'm gonna show you my tweet that I said before that was a little bit mean-spirited and nasty, I think at the genesis of it, you would root more for somebody like him, because, you know, he's not a Virgil, he's not like a super talented, he's gonna really make it person. It's like he's probably more akin to like what an average person or a fan would be. So you could probably live vicariously through someone like this and see someone like this as a person to kind of look up to, because they're more close to what you are, as opposed to like the Virgils or the Martine Rose and Lissalaki, right? Because their talent and their ability to work is just on another level. So maybe you can't really see them as like people that you can kind of emulate. But when the people like Tremaine and stuff make it, it's like, oh shit, if they can do it, I can do it too. You know, with all respect intended. But unfortunately, I guess the industry just fucks you up in some way, because that's the only way to really explain how, you know, a standard work dispute, I think so, it's not too bad, where you have some fallings out with the place that you worked at, it doesn't really work out how you wanted it, you leave, maybe on a bit of bad terms, but it doesn't explain why he's still holding on to it and he still can't let it go. The only reason I could think of is that the industry broke him, or something else happened at Supreme that he hasn't divulged yet, that was far deeper, far more sinister, far more, you know, that was far more deep than what we know of. Because the way he still keeps mentioning Supreme and throwing out little subliminals and they're not even like in a funny, like it'll be far more interesting and cool to kind of observe from afar if you're just being funny with it. It seems like he's really bitter, like really still affected by the Supreme breakup. And for me, reading in between the lines and understanding how the industry works a little bit, like, it doesn't seem like that big of a deal. They just weren't a great match. They started off with good intentions, Supreme wanting to do a good thing. I think the appointment of him was great. I think it was very brave. It's also made sense because of where Denim Tears was. It just didn't work out. It's not that big of a deal. Like, everyone could just like shake hands and keep it moving. But for some reason that hasn't happened. So obviously that didn't happen. Tremaine wasn't happy about it. So I decided to get on my social medias and say something about the issue too. When I went under drops.gg account, when they posted the following, they obviously took a screenshot of what he said and then commented and said, all Blood does is whining and shit talking on Supreme. It's time to move on, old man. And then I guess he tweeted again next that Tears, the Tremaine blocked him. And I think I asked as well, what is it about? And then I think I left my comment down there as well regarding the whole issue. And I said the following. Martine Rose is what Denim Tears should have been if Tremaine was a talented designer, spent less time crying on social media, and if he didn't take the Supreme job and just focus on his own brand some more. Instead, it's fried chicken and watermelon merch brand masquerading as a streetwear brand. He only has himself to blame. Now, to be fair to him and to be fair to his blockage, even though I think it's gay and retarded for men to block other men, it shows that you're way too pressed about things online that you shouldn't really be too pressed about, especially as a grown man who gives a fuck. But to be fair to him, what I did say was kind of mean, unnecessary. There was a lot of kind of unnecessary sassy jibes there, you know. But I'm on Twitter, people, you know, you kind of get infected with the Twitter virus, where you just want to throw out fucking hot takes and, you know, be Mr. Spicy McGee. So maybe the things that I said in the way that I said it wasn't necessary to kind of say Martine Rose is what then. Maybe the first line is fine, but then throwing in the line of like, oh, if Denim Tears was a talented designer, you know, it's just a little bit unnecessarily condescending and snarky. It doesn't need to be that way. I could have got my point across on saying Martine Rose is what Denim Tears. Martine Rose is what I hoped Denim Tears would have been. It's a shame he can't let go of what happened. You know, it could have been done in a it could have been done in a way more graceful way than what I did. You know, it wasn't necessary to say it the way I said it. But in general, I think what I was trying to get at was just a frustration of seeing somebody that's clearly on their way to kind of creating great things and is just not able to get out of their own way and can't see it and doesn't understand how they're being viewed. You know, they can't see how they look by what they're saying. They just see their own frustration and their own fucking, you know, whatever they went through with Supreme, and they're just trying to voice it, and it's really, it's like, it's not that big of a deal. And of course, Tremaine then replied, quickly deleted the comment, by the way, and then blocked me, which is, again, understandable given what I wrote, but still sounds very gay. Tremaine replied to that comment and said the following: a fan commenting from the stands about players on the court, trash talking. Here is a little morsel for your trolls. Martine had the job before I did for a bit and left/got clipped due to dogmatic systems up there. She's a legend. I would never come at her, but I digress. Now, I understand, again, going meanie for meanie, right? Machine for machine, mean for mean. I get the snark, I get the condens, you know, I get the vibe of the reply. I get the vibe, right? But that first line is like, it reminded me so much of why I purposely did, you know, withdrew from the scene and kind of just stayed in my own little bubble and completely cut communication with all those people from that particular scene, especially from 1948, that I kind of was around and shit. I don't really see them. I might check them out on Instagram from time to time, but they're not my friends. I don't talk to them anymore. I don't really give a fuck about most of them. And if I found out some of them died, I would literally punch the air. But that first line legitimately describes, you know, eloquently puts into place some of my issues. This idea that, you know, there's some sort of hierarchy, or like, you know, that you're above and the commentators and fans are below, and you look at them like peons and little pieces of shit. And it's funny because one of the reasons why I love Virgil, and one of the reasons why a lot of people love Virgil, because Virgil was legitimately for the culture and for the kids. And when people used to say for the kids, Virgil actually was about that. He was that person that would actually be DMing some random photographer in Poland who had like 100 followers and was asking him advice about how he can shoot his new netbook. But these type of people, like Tremaine and those type of dudes, they're the types that leave you unseen. You know what I mean? They're the types to fucking not even open your fucking DM when you send him your fucking portfolio or something, like, because they legitimately look at you like peons. Like, you know, no, I'm the big Dango gang brand owner. You're the peon. So fans commented from the stands about players on the court trash talking. It doesn't sound like he's trash talking though. That's a problem. If it was just trash talking, just being funny and poking and just, you know, playing the game, fine. Also, like, this isn't, I don't know, I don't think it's that deep really to be continuing the trash talk anyway. The funny situation he put here, which is I think really telling, is this part that I don't think he understands, kind of baits him up. He says here in this tweet, here's a little morsel for your trolls. Martine had the job before I did for a bit and left/got clipped due to dogmatic systems. So he's alleging that Martine Rose was actually the official creative director at Supreme, but left or got fired before he did. But she still now is working with Supreme. So that to me is proof that the way Tremaine handled his exit for Supreme wasn't the right way to do it, because basically it sounds like what he's saying, Martine had the job. She maybe left because of the same issues that he was having with the C-suite, you know, part of the company being full of white people and maybe not being culturally diverse and not getting it, and James Jebbia being a little bit too much of a micromanager and not empowering people to make decisions, blah, 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 blah. All of the issues that he was speaking about, maybe Martine Rose ran into the same ones, but she still didn't burn her bridge, and she was still able to spin the block and able to do a collaboration with Supreme, while her name is, you know, at a height, you know, it's kind of popping more than it probably was when she was probably first there. And it's probably served everyone better, because now it makes Supreme look better than before, and it also makes Martine Rose look better because it means it's, you know, it's another kind of notch on her fucking belt. So this is kind of proof that even if you do have a bad experience with a company, it doesn't end well, you can still end it in a way where you don't burn a bridge. And this is coming from me. I'm Mr. Burn a Bridge. I'm Mr. Not giving a fuck and just, saying it as I see it and potentially fucking up opportunities and bags that I don't even know about just because I just don't really care about playing industry games. But he's clearly showing here that he wasn't able to do it, not also understanding that the Martine Rose situation is maybe something to kind of maybe emulate and want to maybe copy, and maybe something to kind of want to use as an example of how to handle an exit or a leave kind of gracefully. But for some reason, he doesn't want to see it that way. And of course, he said, legends, I digress, blah, blah, blah. But of course, that then resulted and ended with me getting blocked. So, there's no more communication there to be said for it. Again, like I said, it's unfortunate because, I think less of men who go around blocking other men. I think it's incredibly gay, incredibly retarded. But I also understand from his point of view, if he was annoyed and pissed off about what I said and how it came across a bit snarky and a bit condescending and shit, I get it. I completely understand. But I think the genesis and the point of what I was saying was echoed by by more people who had way more, I think, lethal things to say about him. And I'm going to actually show some of it on the screen here, because I think some of these comments will show you that although what I said could be seen as being rude and being mean, there are a ton of people on social media who are saying way meaner things about him. So this is a post courtesy of Stay Grounded TV. They do a lot of good stuff about reporting on shit regarding streetwear, and they posted the same thing that he said that I spoke about, the kind of subtweet towards Supreme about the Martine Rose collaboration. So let's look at some of the comments. Some of the comments on here says the following: imagine your whole identity is I know Virgil and whining about Supreme like it's not the hot ex that dumped you. Another person here says, used to think highly about this guy, but as time passes I keep seeing why Kanye felt how he did. Another person says, you don't see Barbara Kruger complaining every day, LOL. And she basically invented the box logo font, and I think she got paid like a couple thousand or something, if I'm mistaken. Something like peanuts in the beginning. So it's like Barbara Kruger got scummed. Big up Barbara Kruger. She actually had a not retrospective. She had an exhibition here recently that I fucking missed in London. But big up Barbara Kruger. This guy says the same goofy shit every month. Another person. This dude has been riding the same comments since he left Supreme. Another person. Yeah, Supreme is totally copying the guy who's only relevant for putting all over print of smudges on jogger sets. Hashtag delusional. Another person. Tired of this man. ALR. Another person. Corny. Another person. Everything he says makes me feel embarrassed for defending him at one point. Another person. SMH bro, let it go. Let it go. Which is something that I've been saying from the beginning. But you know how it is with the internet. You say a lot of constructive good things about people, but then when you say a mean thing, that's the first thing they see, and then that's all they see, and they just judge it and they continue. So it is what it is. What can you do? Another one says he can't let go, just like I can't about his wife, his white wife, and pretending he for the culture. Zaza. That shouldn't really matter, but I'm sure for a lot of people that did damage his credibility. That really doesn't matter who you marry, who you sleep with, who you date, who whatever. You can still be you can still be an activist, you can still be for the people and not marry within your race. I don't think that really matters for the most part, but I think for a lot of people out there that looked at him as somebody that put their whole identity behind it, and that was what they stood by, it kind of looked a bit funny when you popped out with the whitest looking white woman you've ever seen. You know what I mean? It's like, rah, she's not even mixed race. This is like an Emma. This is like a Laura. Do you know what I mean? It's like, rah, Ted. All right, cool. You want to put fucking whip slaves on t-shirts and shit. You know what I mean? But it's so funny. She's not even like Spanish or like Colombian or like, he went for the whitest of the. It's like, oh, brilliant. You gotta fucking love it. Down with the white man, but when I'm in bed, I'm banging the white girl. With all respect, of course, intended, you know what I mean? That's his wife and shit. Let's continue. Most dangerous brand in the world. If Supreme posted bro's address online, this would be a whole different story. What? Come on, bro. Everybody knows this. People on the internet as well. he's not doxing Supreme. Like, you can find Supreme's. I'm sure there's a business listing you can find Supreme's headquarters at if you wanted to. He's not doxing Supreme. Like, relax. This guy's going crazy. This hobo look seems to start to transfer to his intelligency as well. Jacking the style. Okay, I don't know what that guy's talking about. Denim Tears is weak. Another person here says, Dude's designs are race baiting nonsense with zero surprises. He sold out and now he wants a refund. Ooh. Shut up, tremendous. Another person, laughing emoji. Tell bro to stop yapping. Another one says, they'll jack your style but not jack you off. What? What does that even mean? They'll jack your style but not jack you off. Why would you want someone to jack you off? By the way, getting jacked off is the most overrated thing in the world, by the way. Just jack yourself off. Like, having someone else try and jack you off, it's a waste of time. Don't care. Very overrated. Same goes for fucking shower sex. Like, myth. What style? Man's look homeless. 9 out of 10. Just let it go, bro. The homeless should not be famous. Fucking hell. I say the same shit about my old job. Not gonna lie. Okay, that's fair. You know what I think is also interesting about that comment, because that's funny he says that. Maybe the truth of the reality is, maybe Tremaine is way more gutted that he didn't work out than what he's making it seem like. Because he made it seem like he didn't really care. Like, it wasn't that big of a deal. I just did it for the culture. I did it for the look. I did it for this. I did it for the legacy. I did it for the da-da-da-da. He wasn't really like, he didn't seem like he was that infatuated, that, you know, because I remember I made a really innocuous observation when he first got the job. I was like, oh, he's not really posting about it much on his Instagram. When I was seeing these socials and shit. Again, that's a minor thing, doesn't really matter, no. But I remember the time thinking, that's a bit odd, isn't it? You got a Supreme job, like you're the creator director of fucking Supreme, and you just started Denim Tears just the other day. Yes, it's popping and doing its thing, but this is still a fucking great job. And I was thinking of the thing of like, it would probably help and improve his own brand. Like, you get to run two brands at the same time, both with completely different ideas, codes, philosophies, and principles, and whatever going forward. But then, because of the work you're doing with Supreme at that level, that might help to influence what you're doing with your brand, and vice versa. So by the time your contract ends, or maybe you leave, you're probably a far better designer than when you were when you started. So it's going to add something. And I was thinking, if the salary is what I think it is, that money could also go to, like, you know, R&D, manufacturing, maybe opening up some new fucking product categories, maybe starting your own footwear shit, because of that money is going straight to, you know what I mean? Because you're not really that money's not to live. You're already living off the back of your own brand. So that money you're getting from Supreme is just straight up like fun project, experiment, do crazy things. So maybe that's what he actually was thinking, because if I'm not mistaken, he got over fucking 500 grand a year or something, right? So if that's the case, maybe he actually was a lot more hurt that it ended the way it ended, which is why we're getting these freakouts, which is why he keeps subliminally sending shots at them, because maybe he was like, oh man, that actually was opportunity, I kind of fucked up. Because apart from the money and being able to feed that back into his own brand, imagine also if you're somebody that like him, who's an activist and shit, and you're about, you know, presenting or putting forward information about the plight of black people, especially in North America, or maybe across the world, or people, marginalized minorities in general. Maybe you see it as your like purpose in life to take that message to the highest platform possible, and what bigger platform than a brand like Supreme? So you also miss opportunity to maybe bring people in. Maybe he was thinking of using certain photographers for lookbooks and campaign ideas, maybe certain videos. I mean, all these things that you have plans for that are really going to elevate certain voices that you felt like weren't being, you know, pushed out there, has now gone. That guy might have a point. He says, you know, it's a funny line. I say that same shit about my old job, I'm not going to lie, but that might be the point. Maybe it's like when you split up with somebody that you pretend like you didn't like. If you just keep talking about them a lot, it means you're probably heartbroken, you know? So maybe that's why he's talking about that. Maybe he's really, really heartbroken. And I never considered that, actually, because he always acted like he wasn't really that bothered about the job, but maybe he was, and he was just pretending like he wasn't to be cool. He reminded me of my old miserable grandpa. Stay complaining. This dude is such a clown. Denim Tears fell off. Emory ain't nothing but a rage bait page at this moment. Bro, can I never hear about this guy again? He's so annoying. The funny thing is, I get the same comments on my little tiny rinky-dink podcast. Whenever I cover Tremaine, whenever I cover Denim Tears, especially if it's some like scandal or drama like this, people are always saying, please change, please stop, please enough, no more. So I think it's the general consensus across social media that people just hate hearing this guy complain. Or I think just in general, I think people just hate to hear men or to see men bitch and moan. It's just not very manly thing to do. Another thing continues here. DropCG says, he's the most sorry ass loser I've ever seen. Oh yeah, this is DropCG's leaving a comment. He's the most sorry ass loser I've ever seen. It's crazy. It's been over a year since he was out of the company. Let it go, old man. The disrespect, that's the thing. The disrespect he's being subjected to because of his inability to let it go is also something that you should probably consider. Just let it go, because people are talking about you crazy online. You shouldn't be getting spoken about like this, because you're not that bad of a guy really. You just had a bad job, bad experience, it didn't go well. But people are talking about you crazy because you come across crazy. Just let it go for this sake, man. Reputation wise, maybe he doesn't give a fuck. Maybe that's why. Another, Supreme went up in all departments since bro left. All the current looks go crazy compared to having everything made when he was there. And there's a few more comments I need to go through and then we'll end this. It says, where is it? Where's the tweet? I think was it over and under? Was it over and under? I think it might be. Was it over and under? Who was it? I think it was someone on here. Bear with me a second as I get this to load. All blood does is wine. Was it on over and under's page, or was it on the other page that I was on? Oh, there we go. Yeah, so there's more pages here. Courtesy of Sneaker Fetish on Twitter, so who follows a good follow. He says, if they've been doing it for years, one, why did he sign on to the company? And two, marry their lead designer? That's a very good point. That's a very good point. Very fucking good point. Another person says here, while he was head designer, he visited the headquarters once. Shows you just how committed he was. Really? Is that true? He was at the headquarters once. Tremaine, you can't do that sort of shit, brother. Come on, geezer. Is that true? Big up this person as well. I'm Too Real for you on social. They're a really good account to follow on Twitter too for streetwear news and shit. I'm not too sure if that's true, but allegedly they're saying he was only at the office once. Yo, that is crazy. That is crazy. Tremaine not giving a fuck, mate. Tremaine is acting like a Gen Z kid. You know how Gen Z kids work, or how Zoomers are working, how they're super entitled and don't want to pay their dues, and you know they want things to be done a certain way. You know they have to be comfortable with their work. You know they complain a lot. They demand loads of things. That's what Tremaine was acting when he went to work at Supreme. Fucking crazy. I actually want to see some of these quote tweets before I end. Let's see some of these quote tweets on here. Bear with me a second. Apologies for the delay. If you're liking the stream, you see what you like what you see, please like the stream as well. Don't be fucking lame. Like the stream down below if you don't mind. Let me view some of the quotes on here. What are they saying? What are they saying? Boom, 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 boom. What are you guys saying as well in the comments? Sorry, my chat, I've completely ignored you. Apologies, I've been rambling here for too long. The movie Grant, High Voltage Rules. Supreme during the film Kids era was gold. Yes, EVM, of course. Iconic movie, by the way. Everyone should watch Kids, even if you're not a fan of Supreme. Virgil for the people. Tremaine. Trauma main. It's a crybaby narcissist, exactly. Big up Koila. I don't think he's a narcissist, you know. I'm gonna give him grace. I don't think that guy's a narcissist. I just think he's heartbroken. Honestly, I just think he's heartbroken. I think he actually wanted the job to work out and it didn't. And he didn't expect it to end the way it ended, you know? Like, I think he's just heartbroken. So let's see some of these quote tweets. What else was people saying here? Man made a minstrel show poster and an undercover / preem hoodie. No one biting Chewbacca. Jesus Christ. Another one says, it was cool when you were writing the checks though. I've never seen someone so full of shit. Fucking no. Honestly, Tremaine has to see this sort of stuff and see how badly he's looking and see how badly people are talking about him and want to not have this be the narrative around his name. Because it's also, I think, I'd imagine this is, but I haven't really seen it though. I was going to say, I wonder if this is taken away from some of the luster and some of the allure and some of the good vibes around Denim Tears. Or maybe because he's done a good job, actually, to be fair to Tremaine. He's done a good job in terms of, even though Denim Tears was like his nickname and that turned into a brand, I think nickname that Virgil gave him, he's done a good job of like not being Denim Tears. He's Tremaine Emory, you know? So that's a good thing. He's kind of separated the brand from his nickname or from his fucking, you know, whatever. So maybe people don't think of Denim Tears and think of him. But I wonder if all of this bad publicity, bad, you know, feeling around him is going to negatively affect his brand. And people are going to stop wanting to buy Denim Tears because they think he's corny and they think he's annoying and he's whatever. I don't know. Another person here says nobody cares. Denim Tears is arse. I saw a homeless guy in All Gap that looked exactly like this yesterday. I'm sad. I'm tired. This person says, I promise you Supreme ain't even thinking about you, B, and you ain't from the street, so stop talking like you is. Yeah, that's something as well that I've noticed he does, which is something I've kind of overlooked because it's just, you know, it kind of is what it is. But I've always wondered why people in streetwear do this anyway. Maybe because I'm actually from ends and I have friends who have partaken in that lifestyle and are still doing it, and some friends who are unfortunately not with us anymore, and some friends who are unfortunately behind bars for, you know, high double digit numbers and shit. And I've also been involved in some very not so savory things which I'm not proud of at all, and even when I think about it I fucking cringe. I'm embarrassed about some of the stuff that I've done and shit in the past. So maybe because of that upbringing, I don't really like get online and try and like posture or act away to kind of, you know, give this image or whatever. It's not necessary. But then people that haven't lived that way love to talk that way. You know, it's weird. Like, how you gonna get into streetwear and fashion and then try to act bad? Like, who you badding up in streetwear? You know what I mean? Who you badding up in fashion? Like, really? It's a bit. You know what I mean? It's a bit like you're kind of bullying the weak. You know, like, you don't get any props for badding up some like showroom girl or some guy at the door at some shitty cocktail. I don't know. After that, really? Talking drug talk, all this. I don't know. Again, none of my business. Everyone does what they want to do. Another one says, I hate this nigga so much. That's pure, innit? I hate this nigga so much. Another one says, I really want to root for him. Exactly. I'm the same. I really want to root for him, but this is not it. He doesn't even wear his own designs. Yeah. Let's say about that one better. This dude is corny as fuck. Nobody, that friend who always looks for attention. Again, like I want to know what this is about, man. I wonder if it's just the industry, because again, I don't know him that well, but the guy that I do know of was never like this. I wonder if this is just the industry. This is what it does to you. It corrupts everybody. It turns you into the person that you would have hated. I wonder if this is what's happening, or was he always this person, and now that he's got money, clout, attention, fame, whatever, he's now fully actualizing who he actually is, you know? I don't know. Another one, he's weird, individual all around. What's it? Get his ass out of here. He's got to stop freestyling on the internet. This dude is a loser. Nigga, you ass. Fuck out of here. Supreme was dumped as juice the whole time you were there and been up since you've been gone. To be fair, that might be a coincidence as well, by the way. I don't think that is all because of how he left and now Supreme is better. I think a lot of people are also attributing a lot of mess to him that wasn't him, and people are also just happy that he's gone, and then everything that has happened after the fact, they're trying to make it seem like, you know, it's all perfect because he's not there. Another one says, what a lame. I hate this bum ass nigga. Stank ass nigga. Jesus. He might be the corniest person in the industry. Jesus, Tremaine, man. Look at how they're talking about you, brother. If Musty Rick Ross don't hush the hell up. They're calling him Musty Rick Ross. God almighty. And that's it. So yeah, It doesn't look good, man. It doesn't look good. He probably doesn't give a fuck. I wonder if he's blocking every single person that says this sort of stuff. That again is gonna be hard and it's gonna be tiring and long, but I guess it is what it is. So that's how it ended. That's how it ended. So I'm currently on the block list, which again, like I said, is understandable considering what I may have said might have been a little bit mean spirited, but I think the point remains. Tremaine and Denim Tears could have been great. I still think they got the potential to be great, but nowadays people only attribute corny, very insulting memes to them, like fried chicken, watermelon, all that sort of shit, and people are now taking the piss out of him directly and making that to be a thing, as you can see, courtesy of this particular tweet as well that somebody posted. Right, this tweet went viral a little bit. Regarding Tremaine, shows you how badly he's being fucking looked at and considered online. Reputation is in fucking tatters. Somebody tweeted a picture of a paper plate that had some chicken and watermelon on it, and somebody says, thought this was a Denim Tears shirt. And I think Tremaine saw this as, I bet I'm gonna do something with it. So I think Tremaine's working on some design or something. But this is what people think of when they look at, when they think of, fucking Denim Tears, which is also incredibly reductive and very insulting. But again, you have to always look at the founder and how he's acting. He always has self to blame for how people are responding to his brand. So as much as I understand his frustration and shit, I think he's dealt with all this stuff really badly. Obviously, as you can see, vis-a-vis the reception online, I think if everybody's telling you you're approaching this wrong, you should let it go, then maybe you should let it go. But maybe he won't, maybe he will. Who gives a fuck? It is what it is. It is what it is. Okay, my friends, that has been the Agostino Zinger Show, episode number 816. I apologize for the ramblings. I apologize for the length of some of these topics. I only went through fucking 2. But I hope you understand the need and the desire for me to get some of the stuff off of my chest, especially the latter topic. For those of you who are listening via the audio side of the podcast, please leave me a 5-star review on all of the podcast listening platforms that you listen to this to, such as Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and shit. That'd be greatly appreciated so people can see and hear, and get an idea of who's listening to the stuff that I do. Of course, if you listen to the audio side of the pod, you will also hear my tune of the day. My tune of the day is a song by the one and the only Dare. The song is going to be titled Elevation from the Dare's new album, What's Wrong with New York. That's going to be playing underneath my voice. For those of you watching the live stream, we're going to be doing the random show next. I'm just going to quickly get some water. We're going to be jumping on that straight away. So random show will be on the random show channel, so jump onto there. I'll be doing a random show quickly on there. We'll be going through T-Fat K and a little bit of Your Mum's House, and then we'll also be looking at the Chin video, so 3 things. So check out the random show. I'll be there in a couple of minutes. But for the rest of you, thank you for tuning in to the Agostino Zinger Show. Appreciate you guys so much. Make sure you smash the like button down below. Let me know your thoughts and opinions, comments down below. That'd be greatly appreciated. And I'll see you guys again on the other side. For now, take care. Peace.